The OBR surplus scandal. Did Starmer and Reeves lie to justify tax hikes? And what does that mean for Labour's future? And is the Starmer finally on his way out? I say finally, it feels like it's a lifetime, but actually in reality it's been just over a year of his premiership. It's now December, and if you thought the autumn budget drama was over, think again. The Office for Budget Responsibility, that's the OBR, the Independent Fiscal Watchdog, just dropped a bombshell that's got Westminster in meltdown and could very quickly, even by the time this video is out, bring down at least the Chancellor and maybe the Prime Minister. So did Chancellor Rachel Reeves and Prime Minister Keir Starmer know about the £4.2 billion surplus in public finances weeks before they scared the public with tales of a massive black hole to justify £26 billion in tax hikes? And what does this mean for Starmer's leadership? Is Labour's honeymoon officially over? Stick around and I'll break it all down, timeline and all, with the latest from the OBR leak that sparked cabinet fury and opposition calls for heads to roll. But first, smash the like button and subscribe for more no BS breakdowns. So let's get started. So first, the facts. Something the BBC aren't that all familiar with. Don't forget, cancel your licence fee. Because in this mess, we need them now more than ever. So the OBR's chair, Richard Hughes, sent a letter to the Parliament's Treasury Committee on Friday, November 28th. In it, he spilled the beans on private forecasts that were shared with the Treasury. Here's what happened. As early as September 17th, 2025, the OBR told Rachel Reeves her funding gap was tiny, just £2.5 billion. They say tiny. I dropped a £20 note the other day and it ruined my morning. Anyway, way smaller than the doom and gloom stories that are leaking out. Then, on October 31st, that's 4 weeks before the budget, they confirmed that there's no gap at all. Actually, there's a £4.2 billion surplus against Labour's fiscal rules. But on November the 4th, Reeves holds a dramatic Downing Street presser. She warns of a productivity challenge costing £16 billion and a black hole up to £30 billion. And hints at breaking Labour's no tax rises on working people manifesto pledge. But where have we seen governments break their manifesto pledges? She even floated a 2p income tax hike, the first in decades. Sound familiar? It was straight out of the Tory playbook they slammed in opposition. Fast forward to budget day, November 26th, 2025, £26 billion in tax rises. Stealth hikes via frozen thresholds, employer national insurance contribution bumps, and more. Reeves sells it as fixing the mess we inherited. But the OBR's post-budget forecast, after her measures, the surplus balloons to £21.7 billion, the biggest in over 20 years. So why the panic? Reeves says the initial surplus was too low, just £4.2 billion, and she wanted headroom for shocks like welfare U-turns, so scrapping the two-child benefit cap, costing £8 to £10 billion. And now ask yourself which section of society is having way more than 2 kids and also argued for the right to have kids with their cousin. And the winter fuel payments, a sort of thing which Starmer got rid of and now they want to bring back in because bringing back in looks good politically. But critics, including economists at the IFS, are baffled. Why not just say we've got a surplus, but let's build it up? Instead, it felt like scaremongering. Again, where have we heard that before? To grease the wheels for more taxes. Now the real kick in the nuts. Starmer knew. Reeves confirmed it on BBC's Laura Kuenssberg's Sunday morning show when she said the PM was fully briefed on the forecasts. They met regularly and he signed off her November the 4th speech word for word. Downing Street briefed HIKES that income tax was off the table only because forecasts improved last minute. But they hadn't actually budged since October the 31st. And get this, cabinet ministers are furious. 3 top Labour figures anonymously told The Times that they were misled in meetings, that Reeves banged on about a dire fiscal crisis to justify taxes, but hid the surplus from them. One minister even said, "Why let the country believe we'd break our manifesto on income tax when it wasn't true?" The handling was a disaster. Another has called Starmer and Reeves weak and incompetent. A vote of no confidence incoming? I think so. On X, it's also exploding. Andrew Neil called it breathtaking serial dishonesty, and popular users like James Melville is demanding resignations, saying, if a CEO lied like this, they'd be gone. So what does this mean for Starmer as leader? Short term, he's doubling down and will hail the budget as fair and necessary, touting lower inflation, energy bill cuts and child poverty reductions. It might steady the ship for a few minutes, especially with Labour MPs cheering the welfare splurge that dodged a rebellion, but long term, this is toxic. He is dead in the water. Metaphorically speaking, that is. I know they like to arrest people for words. Voters feel sold out, and more importantly, they feel poor, especially in the run-up to Christmas. Taxes up despite a surplus, it screams party before country. Propping up the welfare bill to £10 billion extra just to keep the can't-be-asked-to-work class happy. Kemi Badenoch's demanding Reeves resigns, calling her spineless and shameless. Shadow Chancellor Mel Strides even calling for an FCA probe into market abuse on the dodgy briefings. For the government, if this festers, May's locals could be a bloodbath. More importantly, May's locals could also be in line with a general election. Starmer's change vibe, well, that's been shredded. And with the OBR warning a 1% rate hike could wipe £16 billion off the surplus, one global wobble and they're back to square one, but with zero trust left. There you have it. The OBR surplus saga that's rocking Labour to its core. If this was a CEO fibbing about company books, heads would roll and some people would probably be arrested. Time for accountability. Tell me what your thoughts are. Is this the first you have been shocked by what Labour have done? Is this really starting to make you question voting in general? Do you think you can vote your way out of such a mess? Well, don't forget to head over to the website where you can see everything else that's going on and you can comment and let us know what you're thinking. We have been filming in Ireland recently, as just a bit of a reminder, creating a bombshell documentary on TOSLA, the Child and Families Agency. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and you can also help support our work when it comes to projects like that at vpireland.com. Head over to that link now, there's already some content on there. But all in all, smile. It's Christmas. You may be poor thanks to the government, the weather might be crap, but what you can do is head down to the pub for an overexpensed pint and smile and wait for it all to blow over. See you soon.